Hi, I'm a luthier. I make guitars. No, I'm a luthier. A luthier makes guitars using hand tools, not a CNC machine. Okay, well obviously the first term I'm going to talk about is the term luthier. By definition, the term luthier is one who makes stringed instruments. The definition is really based on the vocation, and it has nothing to do with the tools that a luthier would use to make the string instrument. So it can be a CNC machine, you know, it can be chisels. It doesn't matter. All it refers to is the job of making a stringed instrument. So if I'm going to make a guitar using a CNC machine, I can call myself a luthier. If I'm going to make a guitar using a spoke shave, I can call myself a luthier. It doesn't matter. So if you're coming from the perspective that a luthier is somebody who only uses hand tools, that's solely your opinion. It is not the true definition of the word. So if I want to call myself a luthier, I can call myself a luthier even though I'm using a CNC machine, modern high technology. And if you want to complain about that, I would suggest that you write me a letter on handmade paper using a quill pen and handmade ink and then deliver it to me by hand. Don't use your cell phone or a laptop or a tablet to criticize my use of technology as a luthier. Now, the next term I'm going to discuss is the term poly. I get questions all the time from viewers who want to know what is the best way to apply poly, or what is the best poly to use. Well, I have to know what type of poly you're referring to, because there's polyurethane and polyester. Both are similar but very different in how they're applied and how they perform. Polyurethane is really popular among the DIY weekend warrior guitar builders because it's readily available from most hardware stores and paint suppliers. Also, polyurethane can be applied by spraying it on, brushing it on, and even wiping it on. Polyester, however, is a very different animal, and it's really not one that is commonly used by the hobbyist. It's more of the finish that's used by professional guitar manufacturers. However, a lot of us have guitars which are clear coated with polyester, and we're always looking for ways to repair chips and dings and that sort of thing in the finish. And the way that you would fix a polyester finish is obviously going to be very different than how you would repair a polyurethane finish. So when you're asking me or another luthier, you know, another YouTube content provider, what is the best type of poly or the best type of poly to apply, or how to apply it, you need to be specific about the type of poly you're referring to. Don't just go easy and type the word poly. Take a little extra effort and fully spell out the term that you're referring to, polyurethane or polyester. And that way, guys like me can give you the right kind of advice. Now, another term that's used quite extensively by luthiers is the term lacquer. Now, it isn't necessarily misused. It's more that it's misunderstood. And the reason I bring that up is because in the past when I've talked about, for example, water-based acrylic lacquer, I can count on a few folks commenting that water-based acrylic is not a true lacquer. Yes, it is. The term lacquer is an ancient term. Now, a lot of the luthiers will claim that you can only use lacquer to describe nitrocellulose. But in truth, the term lacquer predates nitrocellulose by about 1,000 years. It's been used by the Chinese and the Japanese, for example, when clear coating wooden bowls and decorative wooden boxes, centuries before nitrocellulose was even invented. Nitrocellulose is merely one type of lacquer. And in truth, a lacquer is a clear liquid resin that when spread thin will dry to a hard shell. It doesn't matter what the basic component is. You can call water-based acrylic polymers a lacquer. You can call water-based or even oil-based polyurethanes a lacquer. You can call true oil a lacquer. Shellac can be referred to as a lacquer because they all basically do the same thing. They dry in a thin, transparent shell. They just have different methods of application and different levels of protection. So if I call water-based acrylic a lacquer, I'm not being incorrect in doing so. Now, the last term that I'm going to talk about is the term tremolo. And the reason why I am bringing that term up is because I just received a comment from a viewer who was attempting to correct my use of the term tremolo. And the viewer was actually correct. However, the term tremolo has been so universally misused by so many people that it's actually almost been redefined. And what I had done in the video that this viewer commented on was I was talking about foiling a tremolo cavity. And he said, I want to correct your term or your use of the term tremolo. It's actually a vibrator or a vibrato. And yeah, that's correct. However, we've been using the term tremolo for so long to explain or to describe this type of bridge that it's almost excusable. This is not actually a tremolo. It's a vibrato because tremolo refers to a fluctuation in volume, not necessarily a fluctuation in pitch, which is what this device does. It's how this bridge works. When you hit the whammy bar, you're actually changing the pitch of the strings rapidly. And you can go up or down depending on how the bridge is designed. That's actually vibrato. It's not tremolo. But the term tremolo has been used so extensively to describe this type of bridge that when I say tremolo cavity, this is what I'm referring to. And I'm not necessarily incorrect. The entire industry itself is incorrect. However, when you ask me about foiling a tremolo cavity, it's not like I'm going to be going, what is he talking about? I have no clue what he's referring to. Does he mean the vibrato cavity? Because nobody actually calls it a vibrato cavity. They call it a tremolo cavity. And in that case, I understand what they're referring to. So when I say tremolo bridge or tremolo cavity, yeah, technically that's incorrect, but it's been incorrect for so long and from so many people that I understand what you're meaning. If you want to try to correct me, you're just being a Cliff Clavin. Okay, so I hope that this video is somewhat helpful in your understanding of some of the terms. Now, I know there's a lot of other terms out there that are probably being misused by DIY weekend warrior guitar builders as well as experienced professional luthiers. If you know of such terms, include them down in the comments section below, but be specific. Tell me why you think that those terms are being misused. Don't just post the term because I'm not going to understand where you're coming from. And then in a future video, maybe I'll bring up some of those terms and discuss those and how they're being misused. And maybe we can all eventually, someday in the future, we'll all be on the same page. Right. At any rate, I hope you found this video to be interesting, controversial. At any rate, do the usual. Give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Be sure to head over to eguitarplans.com and purchase a plan if you want to help support my channel. Even if you don't build the plan, your purchase is helping to support the Highline Guitars YouTube channel. And if you don't want to buy a plan but still would like to support the channel and look cool in the process, purchase one of the t-shirts that I have for sale on my merch shelf down below. And if you can't see that merch shelf, there is a link in the description. So until the next episode, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.